Have you ever wondered why film noir so often drifts toward the docks? In this video, we are diving into the strange gravitational pull between film noir and the open water. So get on board to learn all about the mystique of nautical noir. Seafaring vessels are seemingly ubiquitous settings across arts and literature. Perhaps the most important innovation in human history, boats of all types, from battleships to galleys, from cruise ships to canoes, have brought extraordinary triumphs and catastrophic trials. The wave of life illustrated in a single sailor's voyage. Then there's noir. Unsurprisingly, in film noir, boats and the open water on which they sail are often used as tools of death and crime.
Drunk? Yeah.
For example, a pregnant girlfriend is thrown overboard in George Stevens' A Place in the Sun from 1951.
You look sick.
Nothing. Oh, I'm out of breath. I'm just a road.
We'll rest for a while, dear. We can just drift.
A young boy is abandoned to drown in John M. Stahl's Leave Her to Heaven from 1945. And a struggle with a ship's doctor sends a dishonest husband plunging to his wet death in Joseph M. Newman's Dangerous Crossing from 1953. Whether deadly or not, scenes on watercraft are extremely common, but a whole subset of noirs take place primarily at sea or revolve around criminal seafaring endeavors.
First we had a wonderful cabin, and then all of a sudden we didn't have it. And when I tried to tell them, they don't believe me. They think I'm crazy. And then when you called and said don't trust anyone, I was so afraid because I didn't know who it was who was trying to...
Someone's coming. Meet me here later tonight, 2 o'clock.
John!
And of course, crime on the high seas is far more menacing simply because there's nowhere to run. These films we categorize as nautical noir. In them, the isolation of the open sea symbolizes both danger and freedom in equal measure, a paradox which is perfectly suited to noir. Indeed, even before any criminal element is introduced, the threats are everywhere. Mutiny, madness, sharks, storms.
Anchors broke loose!
Hints of nautical noir emerged early in the cycle with titles like United Artists' The Long Voyage Home from 1940, based on several Eugene O'Neill plays, and Warner Brothers' The Seawolf from 1941, based on the Jack London novel.
But there's one thing you'll pray for most of all, to tear out with your own fingers the cold, merciless heart of Wolf Larson.
I said shut up!
But the banner year was 1943, when RKO released both Mark Robeson's The Ghost Ship and Norman Foster's Journey into Fear. RKO by now had mastered what would become known as the noir aesthetic, including expressionistic black and white cinematography and low-key lighting. But in these films, the moonlit ocean surface replaced rain-slick city streets as the primary canvas. RKO emphasized the open water as black and hidden, just like the fate of the noir protagonist. In The Ghost Ship, produced by the legendary Val Lewton, a young merchant marine, played by Russell Wade, joins a crew whose captain, played by Richard Dix, appears to be slowly going insane, leading to several crew member deaths, including a particularly brutal scene in which a sailor is crushed to death in a chain locker. Donald Henderson Clark's script is notable for avoiding one-dimensional horror-like tropes, instead adding complexity to the murderer's character through his confession to a female friend about his killer instincts. In Journey into Fear, based on a popular novel by English author and future husband of noir producer Joan Harrison, Eric Ambler, Orson Welles haunts the film in a relatively minor role as a Turkish secret police colonel who forces an average American engineer played by Joseph Cotton, who has suddenly and inexplicably become an assassination target, to flee Turkey undetected on a ship curdling with mysterious characters from various European countries.
Write me a line.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Howard.
The man who wants the engineer dead, of course, is also on board. Nautical Noir sailed through the 1940s, with releases like André de Toth's Dark Waters in 1944, Edwin L. Marin's Johnny Angel in 1945, Orson Welles' The Lady from Shanghai in 1947, and plenty of others, including a truly fascinating Japanese offering called Woman in the Typhoon Area in 1948, about a ship of thieves who take over a small island, including the crew of a weather monitoring station, while unaware of an approaching storm. One of the greatest in the nautical noir category is Michael Curtiz's brilliantly intimate The Breaking Point from 1950, which is easily the strongest of 3 film adaptations of Ernest Hemingway's novel To Have and Have Not. On a side note, Don Siegel's 1958 The Gunrunners is an admirable effort. In this case, the main character is a desperate war veteran played by John Garfield, trying to survive and raise a family as a charter boat captain. His need for cash and a femme fatale played by Patricia Neal push him toward increasingly illicit gigs. Noir on the Open Seas navigated an international course in the 1950s, with titles like Gordon Douglas's Mara Maru from 1952, Harold French's Forbidden Cargo from 1954, and Jorg Tressler's Ship of the Dead from 1959. These films sailing around the Philippines, France, and Spain, respectively. A standout of this 1950s period is Basil Dearden's P.T. Raiders in 1955, whose UK title, The Ship That Died of Shame, is infinitely more descriptive and accurate, since Dearden and cinematographer Gordon Dines take pains to anthropomorphize the little motor gunboat, once a war hero, but now reduced to transporting a handful of slimy smugglers looking to get rich quick. Thank you for watching.